Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first Gencast. And yes, I do have a baby microphone because it was really cheap on Amazon, and I think it's fine. I think it's gonna work fine. But today, in this little baby podcast video, we will be answering some of your harrowing questions about me. In particular, probably just one or two questions because I don't want to make this really long. So I did ask you guys to send me questions on my Instagram, and I'm going to finally answer them because I am one of those people who avoids questions and answering questions, especially online. So yeah, a lot of stuff about me is very on the more unknown side, I want to say. Just like basic stuff, I guess. So yeah, there's lots of questions. And we're going to answer them. And a repetitive question I did get on Instagram when I asked you guys is, who is my biggest inspiration? That came up like a lot of times. So I'm going to answer that for you today, and this will probably be the only question I actually answer because I'd like to go in depth about most of them, and I don't want these videos to be long either. But so my biggest inspiration, I have so many inspirations everywhere, but I want to say, if I really had, girl, how do I hold this without it being really weird and annoying? Should I? Okay, we're gonna do that. On the water bottle. My biggest inspiration, artist-wise, is takano. I've been following her for so long, like I want to say since 2016, 2017, that's when I really was into her. Other people that I really like, I really enjoy any super flat artist. Super flat is basically it's an art movement, and it's particularly a Japanese art movement, and you can look it up. Maybe I'll put something there about it. But yes, her. Who else do I like? I feel like I get a lot of inspiration from other artists, and that is really obvious because I feel like no one is truly original. Obviously don't copy people and don't steal people's work, but at some point, if you collect so many different inspirations from different places, you're gonna come up with something like original or semi-original at least. So yeah, I don't have like at the top of my head other people besides her because she's always been my like go-to primary inspiration when the people ask me, and in my work you can definitely see a little bit of that shining through, like a lot actually. And I don't mean to like be like, oh, I want to be this artist, but I'm just taking inspiration from her through her story and through the way that she creates art, because the way she creates it is very inspirational, and she's kind of gone really into depth a little bit about her creative process, and I really enjoy hearing about it. She has a video, and I think she has like an interview video on YouTube somewhere. If you look up takano, it should come up. But yeah, I really enjoy her. She's a Japanese artist, and she's from the same not collective, but I know that Murakami, I think, is also involved in the same realm as her, and so is Yoshimoto Nara, who you've probably most definitely seen or heard because his art went kind of like internationally popular. So if you don't know who Yoshimoto Nara is, if you look him up, you will definitely know who they are after that. Okay. I would also like to go into inspiration outside of like already established artists. I find so much inspiration through the people around me. Like, I have a lot of artist friends and mutuals that I really, really enjoy, like, their work as well. So I find inspiration through that. I really hope that this mic is actually working. Anyway, yeah, I find lots of inspiration that way as well. And seeing their work and seeing their posts, I do keep in contact with a couple people, and it's really fun to like send work back and forth and get opinions and second opinions and recommendations. So I think it really is important to create a good community, especially if you're an artist and like if you want to really get into art. It's good to surround yourself with people who are passionate about the same things that you are, and that's like not to say that you need to. I just want to say that it's really helpful, and that's the kind of life that I kind of not life, but that's the kind of community I've tried to build, and I like to surround myself with other creative people. But naturally, if you are a creative, I like to say that like you will also attract other creative people, and that'll just be like the people you have in your life pretty much. And it's good to kind of think about that as you get older. Is that something I didn't realize when I was younger, but now I realize more, is like the people you surround yourself with, you take so many parts of them subconsciously. So kind of being more aware and conscious of the people you're around and like how they are becoming a part of you is really important. And you can be really inspired by lots of different people and emotions and things that come from that. And like that kind of segues into my next point, is like life experiences. And this is really important as an artist to understand, is that your life experience can really feed into your work in ways that you wouldn't even imagine. Because I didn't mean to. I get really itchy here sometimes, so don't mind me. I used to have a septum piercing and it closed up, and now I have like a scar and it still gets itchy. I like don't know why. If anyone else has a septum piercing and that happens to them, let me know. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, kind of lost my train of thought, to be honest with you. But yeah, surrounding yourself with good people, good friends that support you, is always gonna be in like one way or another like stream into some sort of inspiration. And yeah, like life events and going through rough times and going through happy times and falling in love and falling out of love are all inspirational things you can pull from. You don't always have to like pull from iconography. And what I mean by iconography is like references like from the internet and like Pinterest and stuff. And the thing is about that, I do get a lot of inspiration from Pinterest, and I do spend a lot of time like on there, but for the most part I do use Pinterest as a reference point. So if I already have an idea, like a creative idea, and I don't know how to draw something, I will look up a reference on Pinterest, and then it's easy, because then I'm like, okay, this is how you draw that, and it helps me create the work. But I don't go on Pinterest and I see something and then I'm like, that's my next piece, you know? Okay, let's see what else people asked me. Also, this is my first video like this, so if it's like boring, let me know, then we don't have to do another one. But I kind of just like talking, so this should be fun. Alright, someone did ask 3 artists. I gave you guys 1. If I really had to say 3, it would be obviously Aya Takano. I, growing up, used to love Salvador Dali, and that was definitely when I was like 14, 15, 16, like obsessed with his work and surrealism itself. I still think I have a lot of surrealism aspects to my work, but not in the same way as before. When I was like really inspired by Salvador Dali, I got really into like the history of surrealism, or not the history, but like the concept of surrealism and how it works with art. And I have a book on surrealism, and I remember just like reading that and really getting into that. So maybe in like the span of my career, takano, Salvador Dali, and then a third one. I don't. The thing is, I'm thinking of like contemporary artists that I can name. But right now I'm like blanking. But there are people I get inspired by, like on Instagram and stuff. But I also am like blanking off the top of my head for that too. So we will come back to that maybe eventually. But right now I don't have the full answer, the full three. But those are my two I can give you right now. And I've been seriously drawing since I was like 14, but I've always wanted to like draw growing up. Like I've always been a little artistic, or more on the creative side. So yeah, that's when I realized that I really like drawing. I got like obsessed with it, and I'm 24 now. So even now, I don't think I'm like at where I really want to be with my art. So it really does. It's like a very long journey, and I feel like if you don't have inspiration now, or you think you don't, I feel like in a way you do have inspirations. You just are like, it's a subconscious at least. Let's see the next question. I guess we'll answer 2 questions today, because there's also other questions that I saw that were kind of repetitive from multiple different people. Okay. Someone said, how do you deal with depression and social media anxiety? And actually this came up multiple times about social media, and obviously that's very, very real, especially with arts. Like, of course that's gonna be like some, like, how do I say this? Social media and art is a really, really tricky road to go down, because there's a lot of different social media platforms that you can share your art on, and I don't feel like all of them are super like great for artists. And it also is like a luck thing for the most part, because I mean, not really luck, but it comes from consistency and like dedication and like consistently posting. I feel like I got a little lucky, especially on YouTube, because I did not expect for some of my videos to really hit the algorithm the way that they did. And even now, like, I'm still more on the smaller side of YouTube. Like, I'm not like at 100,000 subscribers or anything, but I have like a pretty good handful of people watching, and I'm thankful for that every day, because I'm just like, wow, like I got pretty lucky. But you don't have to have a social media following or a social media art presence to really be successful in the art world. Obviously now with social media there's a lot more you can do as an artist and a creative, and you can make a lot more money now. But with the anxiety part, it does get kind of like hard for me when it comes to posting, because I feel like I do experiment a lot and I do try a lot of different things, but I don't post it because of the whole like things matching my feed, especially on my art account. It's like, will it match my feed? And then on YouTube, it's a whole different story. I don't post super consistently on YouTube because, for one, I am a full-time student right now and I'm taking 5 classes, so it's kind of hard for me to like edit really long videos because I do primarily do vlogs, and my vlogs will be like 40 minutes worth of footage, and then I edit it down. It always ends up to like 20 minutes, give or take, like 15-20 minutes, give or take. And usually it just seems like a lot of work, and I don't want to do it. But I do get in like those little spurts of being like, I want to post something and share things with you guys, because I like start to miss posting and like start missing your guys' feedback. So depression, I feel like I'm one of those people where I don't get like depressed in the way where I feel like it's really crippling for me. I kind of like plateau where I just start to feel like really uninspired and like unexcited by things, especially on social media. When I get overstimulated, I just start to feel super uninspired. So how I deal with this is literally deleting the app and not having it or going on it for like a week or 2 weeks and reset, because sometimes you just really need to like walk away and reset and get back in your own head. And this way it makes a lot more room for new ideas and inspiration to come, and also gives you more time, because I feel like a lot of time is wasted on social media, especially like if you are on any form of art Instagram or art Twitter or like Reddit or other platforms. You can get lost in the sauce a little, and instead of making art, you're just saving other people's art or looking at other people's art. I don't know. I feel like that can go even deeper than that, but yeah. Okay. This is the last question. I wanted to make this a short little podcast, first podcast. Somebody asked, do you think it's compulsory to buy expensive supplies in order to make good art, and recommend some supplies? I'm not sure what you mean by compulsory, because yes, I do think buying expensive art supplies can be a compulsion sometimes, because I know people love researching it and then buying like really nice supplies. I never actually was a really big supply girl, like art supply girly, because I've been using a lot of the same supplies for years, and I'm also one of those people who will like use really shitty like paintbrushes, even though but I'll use shitty paintbrushes just because I'm so used to them, and I'm like such a creature of habit, so I really love using like the stuff I already have. But definitely you'll hear this from every single artist: you don't need really good supplies to make good art. What really makes good art is the artist, and how you're kind of like, how do I say this, your technique and the way you're making it. It really depends on the medium too, because I draw with crayon. Let me show you. Like, I got this box of Crayola crayons for $1 from the Dollar Tree, and I'll draw with these. I drew this with crayons, and it was really fun. I really don't think it matters like what kind of supply you use. What matters more is your idea and how you execute it, honestly. But you'll hear that from literally everybody that's an artist, to be honest. Alright, we'll end off with this. Someone said, what is your aesthetic? And I don't think I have one. And that is because I feel like naturally your aesthetic could just be like what you're into and the things that inspire you. And naturally, that can come from so many different places. Like, you don't need to like box yourself into like one aesthetic or one style or whatever. That's like very subjective from person to person. And usually, like, in my opinion, people who adopt like extreme aesthetics for a look or something, usually those people are kind of struggling with image or identity, and that's like a whole nother story. But personally for me, I feel like I don't struggle with my identity too much. I just like what I like, and then naturally accumulate things that I like, and then they all tend to have like the same vibe. But I do kind of jump around with lots of different styles and things, and it's fun, and that's just what I like to do. But I think that is the last question. And it's been 20 minutes, so I hope my rambling didn't put anyone to sleep. And if it did, maybe that's good, because maybe you can listen to this before you go to bed. But yeah, that is the end of the first Jen cast. Bro. Let's go. Let me know if you guys want another one, and I will talk to you guys later.